I say, my loves, this is your girl, the Georgia Peach with the sweet meat. Empress Queen Goddess coming back at you. As promised, I told you I wasn't going to stop until I found um, that show that Jordan Maxwell did on Hollywood and Symbols. Hollywood and Symbols. Now, once again, my dear ones, I have no claim, no copyright claims to this content whatsoever. This is for educational purposes under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for fair use, Section 107 for educational purposes. Jordan Maxwell he continued as a prominent researcher and independent scholar in the field of occult religious philosophy. His interest in these subjects began as far back as 1959. He served for 3.5 years as the religion editor of Truth Seeker magazine, America's oldest free thought journal since 1873. His work exploring the hidden foundations of Western religions and secret societies creates enthusiastic responses from audiences around the world. He has conducted dozens of intensive seminars, hosted his own radio talk shows, guested on more than 600 radio shows, and written and produced, appeared in numerous television shows and documentaries, including 3 2-hour specials for the CBS TV network, as well as the internationally acclaimed 5-part Ancient Mystery series, all devoted to understanding ancient religions and their pervasive influence on world affairs today. His work on the subject of secret societies, both ancient and modern, and their symbols has fascinated audiences around the world for decades. Considering the rapidly moving events of today and the very real part hidden religious agendas play in our modern war-torn world, he felt these controversial subjects are not only interesting to explore, but too important to ignore. His extraordinary presentations include documents and photographs seldom seen elsewhere. Now, my loves, without further ado, I present to you the late, great Jordan Maxwell, Hollywood and Symbols.
Marvel movies, they had a god that's based off of the Greek gods, Titanos, get his head cut off. I mean, that's kind of racy for a Disney movie. Now they're showing decapitation. I think the Saudis took them over or something.
Yeah, I know. Well, Disney is involved in a lot of dark stuff right now. You have no idea how much dark stuff Disney is into. They're into a lot of communist subversion, Soviet communism crap that they are promoting, and their television shows.
Oh yeah, if I may, the Iron Man symbolism, Iron Man, and they show the obvious hammer and sickle and the red and yellow colors in one, and of course, they're into the magic. I see them promoting Thor now, the comic book of Odin, Thor. They're just letting it all out.
That's precisely my point, that they are heavily involved in the Illuminati secret society propaganda to propagandize America's youth and prepare them for a communist world takeover.
Yes.
And it's incredible how overwhelming and in your face their stuff really is.
It's insane, Jordan. I was on a plane. I put on the new Lion King, right? And in the old Lion King, they say dawn of a new era, dawn of a new day, the villain. And then the villain goes on and he rallies up a bunch of hyenas like he's Hitler, Scar, and they have a full-out Nazi scene where they're marching in unison like they're the Waffen SS. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
unbelievable. And then there's an actual sex scene in the Lion King.
that's what I'm talking about. There's all kinds of hidden political, subversive, communistic, Marxist, Leninist, communistic, and Nazi philosophy and Nazi symbolism in the movies and television shows, and especially that television series a couple of years ago called V. Do you remember it? The V, the TV series V?
I remember seeing the promos.
Yeah, well, boy, that thing is
V.
jam-packed with communist propaganda right out of the Lenin School of Politics.
Oh yeah.
The old Lenin School of Politics in Soviet Union that was training all the communist subversion and all the communist agents to bring it to the Western world, Marxist communism. Well, boy, it's just crammed filled with it. And in the television series that ABC did called V.
Right. But Marvel
and it was all about how extraterrestrial aliens are coming to the earth to help mankind with these problems on the earth.
Yeah.
And when they get here, the extraterrestrials are roaming around the world. They're roaming around the earth trying to get people to follow them. And they're telling the people, here's what we're going to do for you. If you'll just follow us, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to help you with your government, help you with your medical, we'll help you with your crime, and all these wonderful things we're going to do for you. And then they have a pamphlet.
Yeah.
In the movie V, the extraterrestrials have a pamphlet they're handing out around the world to tell the people of the world what they're going to do for you.
Yeah.
And the name of the pamphlet was Dawn of a New Day. That's the name of the pamphlet, The Dawn of a New Day. The extraterrestrials are handing out to the world to show the world what they're going to do for us. And the pamphlet was called The Dawn of a New Day.
That's incredible. Marvel, they're up there. They're owned by Disney. And they have they're letting people know that the wars are going to be infinite because they have a movie called Infinity Wars. And again, they base it on a lot of the gods of folklore like Thor and this other god that's literally the personification of death. So he gets this glove and he's able to wipe away 50% of all living things on the universe. So that, like you said, that's their mentality. And then the alien aspects of it, or the extraterrestrial, where they have Nazis getting technology from the aliens, and then super soldiers like Captain America. He's a Nazi super soldier. All this was once fiction, once comic book, but
that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. ABC, Disney is heavily involved in promotion of dark secret society, occult symbolism for the Communist Party, for Marxist-Leninism, for the not only the Communist Party but for the Nazi Party. And it's just overwhelming in your face when they're making movies like The Lion King.
Yes.
Lion King is an astronomical story based on what Adolf Hitler was trying to accomplish. Hitler was talking about the coming of the new age, of the sun rising on the dawn of a new world order, and that's what that's what the movie was all about.
Yeah.
Was the sun in the age of Leo the Lion King, and it has to do with astrology. It's just an incredible story about where Disney and ABC that bought Disney, or Disney bought ABC, but what Disney is really all about today is just extraordinary stuff. They're right in your face.
Right.
telling you what they're doing. They're promoting that Marxist communism, Nazism, the world revolutionary movement, all kinds of dark stuff that's in your face. I mean, there's no way to get around it.
Oh no! When I was a kid, the Rafiki, the from Lion King, there was this monkey. He's doing voodoo and summoning the dead. He's allowing the lion's son, the prince, to speak to the old king lion that was killed by his brother. It's based off of also the Lion King. I think is based off of Set and the Osiris and all the whole how Set turns on Osiris. And he kills his brother. I mean, it's just, like you said, it's just in your face.
It is. It's just amazing.
Yes.
What they're involving themselves in. And I mean, I had a job I was offered to be in a movie at Disney. They wanted me to be a part of a motion picture in a movie they were making. And because it was the kind of subject I deal with, and so they wanted me in the movie. And I went out there, and what I discovered was the guards, even the guards there, are absolutely out of control. Everything is total Nazism. It's all a very, very dark fascist operation Disney is. Their guards are scary. I mean, I was just amazed at the kind of mentality the guards at the Disney studio displayed. It was really kind of very scary to me.
Yeah, then they got that Club 33.
In Club 33 down at Disney, and like I said, it's just Disney Studios has been taken over by a highly, highly subversive organization. Disney knew about them, and Disney knew what was going on, and he realized what they wanted to do was take over his studio, because his studio was so popular with young people around the world. Everyone loved Disney Studios, Walt Disney. And so Disney realized that the power-hungry, Marxist power-hungry, secret societies wanted to own Disney. They wanted to own it so that they could put their propaganda into Disney films for children and for young people, and put it in there for movies and television shows. And Disney knew that. He fought them all the way, but they finally won. They finally broke him and caused him to go broke, and then bought him out, bought Disneyland out, and now now the subversive owned Disney Studios.
Oh, yeah, I read, Jordan, that the FBI, he was collaborating with the FBI at one point. You remember Senator McCarthy yelled about the communists of Hollywood, and everybody said he was crazy. But, the more the years go by, I think that senator was totally smeared, and I think he was right, because it was
a
communist takeover.
Correct.
As you say.
Yep, and when George Lucas, which I had lunch with George Lucas out at Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
But when George Lucas sold Disney the Star Wars operation, the whole Star Wars project, George Lucas sold that whole project of Star Wars to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see what George Lucas said publicly about that deal? About when Disney bought his Star Wars project for a lot of money?
I just heard that he says he's not involved really in the new movies. It's just his studios, but he's got nothing to do with the new movies. But yeah, what did he say?
He said something to the effect that I have sold my children to the slave owners. I've sold my children to the slave owners. And he was very, very unhappy with that deal, selling his Star Wars stories to Disney. He said, I sold my children to the slave owners.
He sold his soul to the devil.
That was pretty heavy-duty comment for George Lucas to make it public about the deal with Disney.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of anger even in the Fox world, because they got taken over. Fox was taken over by Disney recently, and they had a cartoon of the Simpsons, and Bart Simpson. Disney forced him to put on the Mickey ears, and he's like, I won't put on the nose. And then his dad Homer's like, boy, they're paying us a lot of money. You better put on that nose. You know?
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know about that.
And then he puts on the nose, but then he turns around and drops his pants and shows Disney his butt.
Incredible.
It seems like
boy.
Disney's just like a conqueror right now, just taking everything over.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And they're taking it over because Disney is on the very front. They are on the very front of promoting Marxist communism, period.
Yeah.
And it's a very overwhelming political movement by Disney to promote Marxist communism out of Soviet Union communism. And it's overwhelming and provable in your face. And I have got all kinds of proofs on that. I've done a lot of research on the movies and what's being said in the movies, quotes that are in the movies. And I think it was Disney that did a series on ants.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Disney that did
the movie Ants?
That movie group, a bunch of movies on ants.
Yes.
Well, in there's a scene in one of the ant movies where the leader of the ant colony is calling everybody to war. He's calling everybody to war.
Mm-hmm.
And all the ants are lining up behind the leader. And it shows him on a platform talking to the whole ant colony. And he said, this is the dawn of a new day for the world revolution. It's the dawn of a new day. And we have to be ready, prepared for war. And I thought to myself, by God, Jordan, dawn of a new day. That was a symbol that was taken directly off of the Soviet national coat of arms.
Yes.
The Soviet coat of arms was called the dawn of a new day with the sun rising. And there it is on the ant movies. The chief ant, the head ant, is telling the whole ant colony, we are now at the beginning of the dawn of a new day for a world revolution. And so that's what Disney's doing, is preparing the whole human race for a world revolution. And the revolution is going to be for young people to revolt against their parents, to revolt against the system of ethics and morals and scruples that we have in the Western civilization. So Disney is leading the attack on Western civilization with their filthy and degenerate secret societies, with their hidden symbolism. I'm just amazed beyond words.
It's never ending. They even outright put pornography in some of the cartoons. Are like I forget the name, but it's these mice that are running around, and on the street there's some piece of paper that's flying around, and it's literally porno. It's just so small to see, but it's there. It's hidden.
And then Spielberg, he's produced a television series for kids on kids TV on Saturday, Saturday television for children called Pinky and the Brain.
Oh my goodness! I watch that all the time.
I was amazed when I saw that. It's produced by Steven Spielberg. Spielberg has produced a television series for kids television on Saturday morning called Pinky and the Brain.
Oh yeah, the Pinky and the Brain, the Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane.
That's it. And so Pinky is this crazy, goofy mouse, mentally deranged little goofy mouse that's running around behind the old man and the old master rat. He's a rat, and he's an old master rat. And so Pinky, and every time it comes on, Pinky, the stupid mouse, is running behind the old man rat, and the rat's name is the Brain. He's the Brain, and Pinky is the ignorant fool following him. and Peaky asked the brain and the TV show, "What are we going to do today, brain? You're the boss. What are we going to do?" And the old rat said, "We're going to do what we've always done: take over the world." Is that, and then the music comes on. They talk about the sun rising on the dawn of a new day. The sun was rising on the new day, the new dawn, when the world will be taken over by the Soviet communist bloc, and the Soviet communism is going to take over the world. And that's what the old rat says when Peaky said, "What are we going to do today?" He said, "We're going to take over the world the way we've always done it."
Yeah, and then they show this giant weapon, this electromagnetic pulse giant weapon at the pole, at the very pole of the Earth, and then it gravitates, brings all the consciousness or planets, together, and it brings Saturn in particular just crashing down upon the globe Earth.
Absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, they talk about their genes being spliced, and then even in some cartoons, the brain, he's a master in robotics, and he creates these cyborgs, and he is the brain inside the cyborg that's a politician. So he's controlling a cyborg politician. He's up there making policies.
That's it.
It's hilarious.
What I'm talking about.
It's all Spielberg.
It's an incredible story of where Disney Studios is at now.
Yeah.
And the people who are behind it, financing, organizing, and directing Disney Studios to promote communist propaganda. Is what we call the WRL, World Revolutionary Movement. The World Revolutionary Movement are the brains, the money, and the operators behind world communism and world Nazism. World Nazism is very powerful today. It's operating all over the earth. But most people don't know that in the Western world. They don't know that the Nazis are an extremely powerful political banking order on the earth. And it's very well hidden that Nazis are running the earth from behind the scenes, and so are the communists. They are running the earth also together. They're both working together, communism and Nazism. Hitler talked about the dawning of a new day in all of his speeches. He kept talking about the sun was rising on the dawn of a new day. You go on the web and type in "Dawn of a New Day" speech by Adolf Hitler. And it's incredible. He talked about the coming sun is rising on the dawn of a new day for world Nazism. At the same time, in the Soviet Union, the communist leaders were talking about the dawn of a new day for Soviet communism, showing that they're both being financed, organized, and directed by the same secret society that is being talked about with Peaky and the brain.
Or in Star Wars, they talk about all the wars are just bogus, and they're just merely selling equipment for the stars. I mean, they're preparing for their real life space wars. So
that's right, and that's why I think it's coming. I believe we're going to be attacked from outer space. I think there's going to be some kind of a invasion force.
Where are they going to come through? The Milky Way, Jordan? Because that's the only way I see that, given the ancient structures of the Earth, or this protected field that's around the Earth. I mean, there's this crack that I've researched. That's the Milky Way. I mean, I think they would come in through there.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think where this invasionary force will come from, I think it's going to come from the planet Saturn.
Yes.
Because I have heard from people at NASA who know that Saturn is inhabited, and we know that Saturn is inhabited because we've got pictures of the vehicles flying into the planet Saturn, and their military vehicles. And so it seems as though there's some sort of a military buildup on the planet Saturn. And the reason why it's a military buildup is because NASA believes that there's a military buildup being built up on the planet.
I'm back. I had to go and heard my dogs barking because I got two girl dogs, and one of them in heat. And the damn chihuahuas be coming, them little chihuahuas be coming down here. And I heard they had them got out the damn fence, the backyard, and I heard them barking for them to let them in. So I just got them in.
Southern because they're getting ready to invade the earth.
Well,
and so
I think
they bring here a lot of military from somewhere out in space. They're bringing it here to the planet Saturn, getting it ready for a full-scale invasion of the earth.
I think they've already invaded through their frequency is a Saturnian frequency, and Saturn is a consciousness that definitely governs what we do here. Or at one point, it was a sun that was closer, because you see the ancients would worship by having Saturn on their crowns. But I think the invasion's already here, Jordan. They're already here. They already control the human race from within, more of a macro cosmic kind of level, even from within our bodies. I think parasitical level. They're here. It's just unseen. They come in through your sinuses, probably, and get you sick. They're virus.
No doubt about it. What about John Carpenter's movie, They Live?
That's right.
I think that Hollywood has known for a long time, and that's what's behind the power of Hollywood. It's an extraterrestrial, otherworldly, demonic depravity that's operating in human society and using Hollywood as a front man.
Right. You and I would
be using Hollywood to promote otherworld demonic depravity.
You and I would be the characters in They Live that can see the symbols that are all over. You know, like Roddy Piper's character. And, my book that deals with symbols, I wouldn't have been able to write it if it weren't for you. That's kind of like the They Live glasses. If you get my book, because we've had so many great talks over the years, I was able to, like a chronology of everything we've talked about, and with research of all these symbols that can help you see that occult world, help you see what others don't see, what people like Jordan Maxwell sees, what people like myself see. And there's these symbols everywhere, these ancient occult symbols.
For 60 years.
Yes.
60 years I've been trying to tell people. I lived in Los Angeles for almost 60 years. And I know that town well, and I know the writers, I know the television show producers, I know these people well, and I know what they're doing, and I know how they're doing it. There's just nothing I can do about it but just talk about it. And hopefully people are listening to understand. Watch what your children are watching.
Right, it's a dark place.
These propaganda.
Yes, I gotta ask you, Jordan. It's a dark place, Hollywood, and I got loved ones that maybe say they want to act one day. That they're young, and they're young. As one of their relatives, what do I say to them? You're like, stay away. That's the devil. Is that the right thing to say?
Tell them that you can talk to people who have lived in Hollywood, who know it backwards and forwards, and are really well connected in Hollywood. And they tell you, stay away from Hollywood.
Absolutely.
It is a very, very evil place. It's a very, very scary place.
Yes.
We're talking about organized crime on a level that you've never even imagined possible.
Wow.
And you're seeing some of these people now being outed with raping so many women in Hollywood, and the what's his name? Epstein. The one who had the island for prostitutes.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein. It's the same.
Epstein.
That castle of his is the same castle, the same design as the Disney castle.
That's right.
Interesting.
But they're bringing young girls and young kids down there, young boys and young kids down there to be raped on the island, so they won't be bothered by any law enforcement or anybody knowing anything about it.
Oh my God.
Tell the young people that you know want to go into Hollywood, tell them you better stay away.
Well, I will.
Because you're going to wake up and find out you're involved in organized crime with people who are buying and selling children on a market. They're buying and selling children and selling them around the world.
Oh my
And you
God.
have no idea in the world what's going on in Hollywood. So
It's the scariest place for a child. I mean, they literally they rip the pineal gland out of it.
deadly place for adult women.
Yeah.
You got to know how bad it is for a kid if adult women are being killed and raped and plundered and all the stuff that you're hearing coming out of Hollywood with all these women who are now popping up talking about all the stuff that was going on and how they were being raped and sold and bought and sold in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible place. You need to realize.
I will be sure to let the people that around me, my relatives, know that stay the hell away. Don't you even think about being an actor.
No, you might want to just go into Chicago and join the mafia, join the mob.
It's the same thing, right?
It's the same identical thing. It's a very frightening criminal element that's running loose. And they can do whatever they want and get away with whatever they want because they got the money to buy their way out of anything. So they can do anything to you if you're a kid or a teenager there.
You have no
you are
say.
a sitting duck and they can do whatever they want with you. And there's nobody going to do anything. Nobody's going to touch them because the judges will even tell you in Los Angeles there is no justice. There's just us.
Oh, man.
And so stay away from Hollywood. Stay away from that place, Los Angeles, completely. It's a very dirty place.
It's going to be a disaster zone soon. I mean, you see with all the fires that look like something out of the War of the Worlds.
That's exactly right. And also, if you go on the web to YouTube and look at Los Angeles, how bad off Los Angeles is, there are whole half-hour shows driving around Los Angeles talking about the human sacrifices and bodies of people being found with their heads, with human sacrifices, and finding children with their heads being cut off. All kinds of
sounds like Mexico
stuff like that going on in Hollywood.
It sounds like Los Angeles just became Mexico. Decided to be Mexico.
I think so, and it is a Marxist communist state.
Just like Mexico.
No doubt about it. Yeah, and just keep in mind who runs Mexico if it's not the Vatican.
Right.
The Vatican is probably the biggest criminal syndicate on the face of the earth, and it makes all the other criminal syndicates around the world look like child's play because the Vatican has been involved with organized crime for thousands of years.
Absolutely.
Organized crime, the Roman Empire, Rome. And this is why the Pope is called the Holy Father, because he has the ability to talk to God. He is the original Godfather. He's the Holy Father who talks to God. He is the Godfather in Rome. That should tell you something about the Vatican.
Well, he believes himself higher. He believes himself to be higher than God. That's what makes him so unholy.
That's what makes him so holy, is he's the Holy Father. He's the Father.
Yeah.
And so Jesus said that when you pray to our Father who art in heaven, not our Father who runs a mafia from Rome and the Vatican, not our Father.
Eating spaghetti and meatballs. You got to pray to some fat Goomba. I don't know. That's what God was.
You just need to tell people stay away from Los Angeles. It's a very bad place. People who lived in Los Angeles for years are leaving. They're getting out of the city. People are leaving that city. Why? Because there's so much unemployment. There's so much stupidity and ignorance and people and the gangs. Everywhere there are gangs, gang fights, gang wars on the streets. There's alcoholism, drug abuse, police and police department tragedies going on everywhere.
It's the ending of human existence there as we know it. The gods have turned their backs on all the Californians, and it is certain doom is around the corner. I mean, seismologists, the Salton Sea there is a ticking time bomb. 9.9 and up could hit that area, that part of the world, and totally sink it into the ground. There will be, I mean, California will be an island into itself like it used to be. And
yeah, you can imagine what's going to happen with all those millions of 37, 38 to 40 million people living in California.
It's going to be hell.
And they're running out of water.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And they can't even put the fires out because they don't have the water to put the fires out. And so California is a very, very sick place, a very bad place.
I think something scary is around the corner because if you go by the predictive programming in movies like what was it, Demolition Man with Sylvester,
That's right.
with Sylvester Stallone, they said the big earthquake of 2010 destroyed Los Angeles and turned it into San Andreas or something. That's 2010. Yeah. That means we're 10 years overdue. I mean, that movie came out in the 1999 or something. So I mean, where'd they get their script? They might be a little off, but I'm thinking 2020 and beyond. I mean, they're overdue for the big one. I mean, they've been having big ones, all by the Northern California area.
Of course they have it. The place is on fire from top of California
Looks
to
like
the bottom of California. The place is burning to the ground. It's an incredible story about how much has been lost in California. And I've heard organized crime and organized syndicates are involved with the burning of California. Mm-hmm. And it's being done with high tech stuff.
Yes.
Government has high-tech stuff in the satellites, lasers that can melt high rises
and people. I've seen the crimes, Jordan. I've seen deaths. I've seen them disintegrated. I've seen they on YouTube. There was a car, and it seemed like a person tried to get out of their car, and as soon as they got there was a little pile of dust where that person should be.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
It's insane.
If you're thinking about going to California, you better think again. You better run the opposite way.
Run for your life.
Stay out of California because everybody who lives there knows it's a deadly, deadly, dark, dirty place. And talk about corruption in government and laws in government. The judges are all on the tape. The cops are really off the wall. Extremely violent stuff going on in California. Stay away from that state, period.
Yes.
People who've lived there all their life and have money and are doing well are leaving California. By the thousands of people are leaving continually. People are getting out of California. They know it's over. California's finished. It used to be a beautiful state,
yes.
But now that the secret societies and the powers behind Hollywood have moved into California and are raping it, destroying it, and burning it to the ground.
It looks toxic.
Bringing in gangs from all over the world. My God, what a horrible place.
There's a toxic cloud looming, I mean, since the 80s. I mean, looming, it just keeps getting worse. Just right there sitting on Los Angeles in Southern California.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right.
That is, the people that are breathing it are just getting sick. Radon and all sorts of stuff they breathe in. And then now with these fires, it's the air quality is some of the worst air quality in the world.
On the earth,
yes.
Period. Oh, God, yeah. Stay away from California, period.
Yeah, we got out. I
got out. Yeah. I was there for 60 years. I had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. It was horrible. If you get 40 million people in one state, the last time I heard it was 38 of the 39 million people in California. And they've run out of water.
Wow.
Can you imagine what life is going to be like with 40 million people with no water, no food, no work, no money. 40 million people with no food or water. My God, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that's the one place you don't want
It's
to
going to
be.
be a mass extinction, population control being conducted in California. Absolutely.
That's right. No doubt about it. And it's a scary place.
Whew, man.
So,
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because, I mean, my whole family's there, you know, so, and they don't listen. You know, the family is the worst to try to wake up. It's like the movie They Live, you know, and like the scene where he's literally beating his friend up with fists and hitting him with a garbage can so they can put on the glasses and see the symbols, the truth.
no doubt about it. That's what Hollywood is telling you. Some people in Hollywood are good guys. They're trying to tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
They make movies to tell you.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, they said it wasn't a movie. Roddy Piper said it was a documentary. So I mean,
That's what I think it was. That's what I think it was. It was a documentary. They Live. Go watch it if you can find it on YouTube. They Live.
Online. It's definitely, or buy it. You know, you could, download it.
Buy it and get it.
Yeah,
it's extraordinary. And then watch the television show ABC put out called V. And at the very end of the movie, they say the extraterrestrials are here to help us, and they are putting out a track, an article for the people of the earth to read about what the ETs want to do. And it says that they want to establish the dawn of a new day for the whole world.
Right.
Well, that's the symbol on the Soviet national coat of arms of the Soviet Union. That's what it says. It says the dawn of a new day for the entire world.
Right. I heard you mentioning the Saturn, that they're gearing up for a Saturnian invasion. Well, I think it's got to have something to do with the Titan mythology of the Titans.
That would be a bit surprised.
They keep mentioning Titans here, and in this movie, Titans there. Almost everywhere the theme is that the monsters, or in Godzilla, was the monsters were the Titans, and they're coming back because they have to destroy humanity to start over again. And it looks like It looks like there's this Jesuit secret organization called Monarch. They're controlling the whole thing, and they're bringing the monsters or the Titans back. And one of them is a three-headed monster, definitely taken from the Revelations in the Bible. But he's supposed to be a Saturnian energy that is coming to destroy humanity. By 2020, everything is Titans, from DC comics, everything. The whole theme everywhere is monsters or Titans, and monsters and Titans.
Yep, and also then you'll be able to see things very clear because you'll be in 2020.
Right.
And that's what the eye doctors will tell you. You got 2020 vision, you can't get it any better than that. So I think that they're planning something for next year for us all humans to see.
Yes.
And it's going to be we're going to have a 2020 vision. We're going to see all kinds of things you've never seen before. They never let you see. They made sure you didn't know anything about it. But maybe they're going to show us what they're really all about, what Hollywood is really doing, who ABC and Disney really are,
right,
and where the money is coming from, and why are they doing what they're doing to California, to the people, and what's really going to happen to America next year. Next year, exactly this time next year, I believe you're going to see some terrible things happening in America. Because the Communist Party in America, who used to be in charge of the Soviet Union, they are now here in America. And they are going to overthrow this country, the government of the United States.
They're trying like hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the other day that
I would be a bit surprised if we're going to see the overthrow of the United States government.
Well, just the other day, Jordan, I heard that Donald Trump was possibly poisoned.
That's right.
So
and it doesn't surprise me because they want to kill the president.
What's going to happen next? You know, it's insanity. We talked about you mentioned NASA, and frankly, I don't really goes.
Oh,
right?
heavens,
Boeing.
yes.
It has the Saturnian
I
logo
don't
there.
fly anywhere, boy. I stay away from planes.
Oh man.
And I've been invited 2 or 3 times. I've had invites to go on cruises with the big cruise
Oh
lines.
no. Yeah.
I've had the cruise lines contact me and like for me to go on a cruise because I'm doing radio. They'd like for me to promote the cruise lines, and so the best way to do that, they say, is to give me a free.
People, what a lot of these logos mean, the occult translation of them, the esoteric translation, and
Yeah,
that's
you're
thanks
right.
to you and your work that I was able to compile that book, and we're getting